The undead apocalypse started spreading across Call of Duty Black Ops 4 on July 9th, bringing zombie-themed content that features brand new maps as well as plenty of nostalgia for Call of Duty's past. Much of the new content is geared towards adding some flavor of the undead embellishment to all the game's modes, giving some really great fan service to the zombies community. As a part of the zombies community, I thought it would be great if I could give my input on the new operation, diving into the good, bad, and ugly of this new operation. That being said though, before we get into the video, make sure to leave a like, share, and subscribe if you're new for all sorts of Call of Duty content, as well as hit that bell to be notified every single time I upload. Let's get into the video now, shall we? So by far my favorite thing of the new operation is the new DLC maps with some zombies flair. New maps have arrived for Black Ops Pass owners with the addition of 3 new multiplayer maps and 1 new zombies experience. Havana from Black Ops 1 has been remastered, joining Black Ops 4's growing list of awesome throwback maps. There are zombies posters added into the Cuban locale, but overall the undead influence is pretty subtle here. Der Schatzen, I have no idea if I pronounced that right, I probably butchered it, but basically Der Schatzen is a map that takes place in the Austrian town right below Der Eisendrache, which is my favorite map of all time, from Black Ops 3 Zombies, obviously. Zombie players will also be familiar with the giant robot that has crashed into the buildings. This multiplayer map legitimately looks like it was pulled from the zombies mode, but the undead can't actually kill you in multiplayer. The zombies are limited to just groaning and slapping at the windows or other restricted areas, and that is still freaking awesome. Up next, the Remnant multiplayer map pays serious homage to zombies modes at the Museum of Unnatural History, which is packed full of lore from past zombies maps. It's hard to appreciate all the detail on display here in a hectic public game, so definitely start up a quiet custom match of Remnant and take a stroll through the museum. There's no entrance fee, well, aside from owning the Black Ops Season Pass, that is. The new zombie storyline DLC Alpha Mega also returns players to Nuketown, but with much more area to explore. Alpha Mega is packed with story, as different versions of Nikolai, Richtofen, Tokyo, and Dempsey work together to solve the secrets of Broken Arrow and their facility within Nuketown. If you need to know more about Broken Arrow, I did make a full separate video on that, explaining everything we know about them and their history, so check that out. Apocalypse Z reintroduces Reaper, a specialist from Black Ops 3 who can be unlocked for use in multiplayer and Blackout by reaching the first tier of the new contraband loot stream. Reaper lays waste to opponents with the Scythe machine gun, and his specialist equipment is the Radiator Shroud, which works like the opposite of Recon's sensor dart. Instead of pinging enemy locations, this dart will cloak a portion of the enemy's minimap. A fan favorite of the Black Ops 4 series, the Sticks and Stones mode now makes its Black Ops 4 debut. This classic mode is a timed free for all, which limits players to the use of ballistic knives, combat axe, and Black Ops 4's newly added auto crossbow. Points are earned by getting kills with the crossbow, knives, or melee. Killing enemies with the axe will reset their scores to 0. Sticks and Stones still feels as intense as it did in the classic days of Black Ops 1, and the combat axe will still absolutely ruin someone's day. The bright blue skies from Days of Summer are gone as the standard Blackout map rolls into the Haunting Fog event, which changes the ambience by bringing in a layer of fog and turning all the water blood red. The new look definitely gives you that eerie apocalyptic feel. The new limited time modes are also available in Blackout, which are Quad Fog and Alcatraz Horde. Quad Fog is pretty much just like standard Blackout but with thicker fog, which might be suitable for those looking for a slower paced tactical experience. Alcatraz Horde brings back Black Ops 4's fast paced prison map, but now Alcatraz has a nighttime setting with more of the zombie threat than ever before. Instead of being limited to specific areas of the map, the undead can now randomly spawn anywhere. Alcatraz Hordes also adds in other zombie enemy types and super-powered wonder weapons to really capture the zombies vibe. The biggest flaw of Alcatraz Horde is the opacity of the storm collapse. It's almost like looking in a two-way mirror. Players struggling to get out of the storm have a better visibility than those who have managed to safely evade the storm's collapse. its shiny blue reflection from the view inside the circle, which makes it hard to see the enemies coming at you. I know zombies aren't everyone's cup of tea, but I've encountered very few times where the zombies completely overwhelmed me, and that's pretty much every time for me now. So the extra hordes shouldn't stop fans of Alcatraz from enjoying the mode during the ongoing apocalypse. The controversial blackjack stashes have disappeared from the limited time blackout modes on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One as well. These loot lockers were packed with all DLC weapons, but the items were only available to players lucky enough to have locked them via loot boxes or the contraband streams. Hopefully these DLC stashes are gone for good. Black Ops 1 WMD map was remastered and released as a pass exclusive for the Spectre Rising event, and after many complaints that throwback maps should be free for everyone, it seemed for a while that Treyarch might have gotten the message. Black Ops 2's grind arrived during the Days of Summer event as a free map for all players. Unfortunately though, we're back to exclusivity for Havana. I still firmly believe that throwbacks maps should be free for everyone, and that there are other better ways to reward Black Ops Pass holders. Reaper's Scythe specialist weapon is perhaps a little too deadly. The balance is supposed to be that Reaper moves slower while lugging that giant machine gun around, but the speed reduction doesn't stop the ability from destroying everyone on the battlefield. Reaper is also a ninja in Blackout. The robot's footsteps are naturally very clunky in multiplayer, but the sound is not currently being heard in Blackout. Hopefully these things can be easily adjusted. While I really dig the vibe, and it's clear Treyarch puts a lot of zombies love into these multiplayer maps, the layouts of the new maps can get a little frustrating. Der Schatten is a decently sized map, but most of the gunfights gravitate towards the giant robot. You can navigate through the insides of the robot's busted torso, as well as enter and shoot people from the inside the head. It is very campy. While there might be a portion of the player base that will actually enjoy the thick fog as an added tactical layer to Blackout, most players don't want their gameplay affected by low visibility elements. Treyarch's last attempt at low visibility elements with the Arsenal Sandstorm multiplayer map didn't resonate well with the player base either. The thick haze and quad fog completely mask any threats looming on the horizon. It really slows down the pace of the matches. Matches tend to get pretty campy when players can't see what's around them. I don't see this being a popular mode. Luckily though, no one is limited to playing this super foggy version of Blackout. The fog in standard solo, duo, and quads doesn't hinder much of your sight. There's just enough fog to give you the map, like, I guess, a haunting vibe. I must also mention Black Ops 4's continuous loot hustle. The biggest complaint from the Days of Summer new loot was that only one gun can be earned simply by playing the game and unlocking the weapon in the contraband tiers. The 4 additional DLC weapons were locked within loot boxes. Now you can't earn any new DLC weapons within Apocalypse's contraband tiers. There are only 2 new weapons, the Weaver's C86 auto crossbow and the Argus, which is the lever action shotgun from Black Ops 3. Reaching the final tier of Apocalypse's contraband loot grind will award players with 1 ultra weapon bribe. This is basically a loot box that guarantees 1 random DLC gun that the player doesn't already own. If a player has already unlocked all the weapons, they'll receive a cosmetic weapon variant. Many players might not have all the DLC weapons from previous events, so the bribe might unlock an old DLC gun instead of one from Apocalypse Z. The Ultra Weapon bribe seems to be Treyarch's way of making Black Ops 4's DLC weapon situation seem less scheming, but this is neither satisfying or a solution. Well guys, that is the good, bad, and ugly for Operation Apocalypse Z. In my opinion, this is a pretty good operation so far. I do love all the multiplayer maps and the zombies maps. No matter what the issues are, they are still really fun to play, and the changes to Blackout I actually find quite enjoyable. That being said though, if you did enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.